Welcome to the Tally Mark. My name is Tally. It is your favorite name to hear and your favorite name to say. And this is my guest, Carlo. Say hi.
Hi.
Today we're talking about cougars as a kink, which is just sex with an older woman as a man. So it happens to be Carlo's kink. As you all know and should know, I prefer older men, so it's definitely not my kink. But I'm here to talk to you about it anyway. So why don't you walk us through your... Let's dive in a little bit. Like when did you first have sex? What's your body count? Like let's get the general questions out of the way.
Okay. I lost my virginity when I was 16.
Okay.
Not at a church, but like at the side churches, like where the priests be sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah. So, cause I was my grandma is really involved in the church, so she wanted me to get involved in the church. There was this girl who was like a helper of the priests or whatever. So we were helping out with the offertory, like just to count that.
Okay.
Like we were counting the offertory, like when mass was over. But next door there was still a mass happening. Like there was still like
That's way too Catholic for me. Like I don't understand any of the words that you're
that
saying.
mass, like church. There was still a service happening.
There was a service happening,
there
and
was
then
still
you
a
and
service
this
happening.
little girl went over, and you were like, "Hey, let's." Fuck.
She was older. She was like 19. I was like 16.
Okay.
But
Did you feel creepy about it or no?
I felt, shit, am I gonna burn in hell? I don't know. I was like, am I gonna burn in hell?
For having sex during church, or
Yeah, during church and like next to a church and like those priests probably sleep on that couch sometimes. It was on their couch, so
Got it. Okay, so you felt like you were gonna go to hell with your first time, but you still nutted anyway.
I think so.
Did you like plan it? Like, did you have a crush?
No. I mean, I had a crush on her. No, I've had a crush on her since I was like 14. Like when I first went to that church.
Okay.
Never talked to her since until like maybe a month or two before that. Like when I kind of started getting involved in the church, kind of.
Okay.
But I've had a crush on her because like the first time I went to that church, I was like, oh damn, because like they're standing in front, like the stage area, like where she also stands there. So I was like, okay, she's really pretty. Then I found out she was like older than me. She was already in high school, and I was like in middle school the first time I went there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we just started talking that day, and then she was sitting on the couch and I was sitting on the floor, like just counting the money at the offertory. And she was just like, "Do you want?"
That's a little corrupt. As a sidebar, your church had some corrupt shit. Counting the money as if you're like ending a day's work.
Is that not? Oh my god, is that not normal?
I don't know. I don't know anything about churches.
But like, I don't know shit about churches neither. But just,
I'm gonna be really honest with you. Out of all of my times recording this podcast, I've never done it while I was like tipsy. But for some reason, the shot is really hitting me right now.
maybe because you haven't ate at all.
Probably that. So I don't know how well this podcast is gonna be, but I hope it's gonna be good. But we need to like... I'm like sweating already. The shot is for some reason hitting me. So that's fine. You're just going to have to really entertain me with your stories because I don't know how much I can really... I don't know how much I can carry this. I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm just like...
Jordan, you got it. You got the cues and stuff. Like
Jordan will add in if need be. Okay, so you have sex with a 19-year-old girl when you are 16. So obviously you're starting young. Like we can just dive into that a little later. But like... I think it's pretty clear why you have a cougar kink because, to begin, you had sex with an older woman. So, did she know was that her first time?
Nah, that was not her first time.
Yeah, so she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, like
So
she was
she
very dominant about going about. I mean, the beginning stages were very dominant already. She was like caressing my head. She was because she was on the couch and I was on the floor, so she just started caressing my head, and then.
So were you talking during this?
Yeah, we were just talking regularly, and then there was just that slight moment of pause, and then she was like, "So you have a girlfriend? Like, it's pretty fun, right? Like, your age and stuff, like 16. You must have a lot of like girls that you're talking to." And I was like, "No, not really," because I was just kind of socially awkward at the time.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I was very socially awkward, so I was talking to girls, but not at that capacity of just trying to have sex with them. It was just literally trying to keep conversation. But with her, it was like she was just making me talk, asking me questions, mostly about girls.
Mm-hmm.
And she was asking, "Have you ever thought about having sex?" And I was like, "No." And then she just came, like, she just started caressing my hand, like, you thinking about it now? And I was like, yeah, maybe.
You got fully seduced. You got fully owned. You enjoyed it.
I was 16, so when she started caressing my hand and started talking about sex, I was just already shaking. I was like, fuck. I'm already expecting in the back of my head. Shit, I was probably already hard. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I was probably already hard. And then she just happened.
I see. Okay, so that was that. And then is that the only time you've had sex with like a mildly significantly older woman?
No. So body count, I have maybe 15 plus, maybe 20 plus.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't really count. I don't really keep count of that. But no, for the most part, it's, I'll say like 90% of them have been like older than me, but at least like a year or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you say you typically fall into like them like teaching you, guiding you?
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
So you might say that you might also like to be submissive.
Very much so too, because like most of them have been very like dominant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that I don't want to be dominant as well, but for the most part with them, it was like the girls I've had sex with in the past, the older ones, they were just been the most dominant ones.
So you like to be told what to do.
In the beginning stages of like me having sex, like more often, like in high school, I probably had sex with a total of like maybe 4 girls.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, like in high school, you were just like, especially me, I didn't know how to get girls.
Yeah.
I didn't have that confidence, so I didn't know how to have sex. So I didn't even care about them teaching me because it was just like, I just want to get it in. So like, I don't care if you're teaching me. Then it was like more of in college when I started having sex with like different partners. I was just more like, okay, I'm more open to taking my time and experimenting and them teaching me. But yeah, it's mostly been the older girls just teaching me like really what to do.
So how old, what's the biggest age difference that you've had?
Dating, when I was 18, I dated somebody who was 24.
Okay.
Just having sex with somebody was, also when I was 18, she was 26. But I've talked to women in their 30s.
And what was the most appealing? Like what, even if you haven't had sex with them, like if you never had sex with them, what was the most appealing?
I'm gonna tell you the most appealing and the most unappealing.
Okay.
About these. So my first time when I was after COVID. We went to Vegas. I think I was like 22. Yeah, 22 because I couldn't go party when I was 21 because of COVID. Mm-hmm. But 22, we went to Vegas, and she was a worker. She was actually a waitress. So I think she was like 31. And what was appealing to her was that because in Vegas, like they were just wearing that black like dress. Mm-hmm. The thing about me, I like skirts and dresses. And she was like wearing heels and stuff, and she just like looked very mature. You know what I'm saying? Like she just looked, and I was drunk, and I remember what was going through my mind was, I bet she can teach me a thing or two. I bet she can teach me a thing or two. So I started talking to her, and I think we were vibing. Like she mentioned that because she's in Vegas, she's had sex with like a lot of younger men, and her thing was actually, she talked about this, was making men lose their virginity. Okay,
so you had a virgin kink?
Yeah, mm-hmm. But I guess I came across as a virgin because I wasn't stuttering or anything. It was just I was telling her, I barely know how to have sex, blah 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 blah.
But you were lying.
I was lying because at that time I was already, I already like had women, but like with her, my play was just to, I'm gonna just like let her lead the conversation and all that. But that was the appealing part, like of just her looking fine as fucking, looking more mature than me, or being more mature than me probably, like in terms of that. And that too, that virgin thing of, I've always had this fantasy of like, now I can't do it because I'm not a virgin anymore, but just like being a virgin and being taken by somebody that wants a virgin.
But
just wants to.
Couldn't you also say that was how you lost your virginity?
That is true. That is very true.
Because obviously she knew.
That is also true. That is true.
So you probably already fulfilled it. So you just want to relive the time
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Like
so that was a really successful, fulfilling moment for you. Not just because you lost your virginity, but like it's obviously marked you for the rest.
Just it's marked me of like what I really might type in women, like throughout those years that I was Like, it's kind of weird saying this right now because my girlfriend is younger than me, but there are always exceptions to the rules. There are always exceptions to the rules, which is my girlfriend being younger than me. Which is fine.
Yeah.
But the girl in Vegas, the 31-year-old in Vegas, that was the appealing part. Again, just her being into virgins and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I can dig this because I'm pretty sure she's gonna dominate me and just like try to teach me stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I was in coming in, and then what really, we were already like set. Like we talked, we had a couple shots in. Like we were gonna go back to her place. Then she mentioned she had a kid, and she was like, "Oh, my kid is already sleeping, so we can just sneak it." And I'm like, "Okay, that's kind of where I have to draw the line. That's a little too, like, if the kid wasn't there, sure. If the kid wasn't in the vicinity, wasn't in the house, sure, I would have done it. But knowing the fact that the kid was there was just a little too much for me.
Okay. Why?
One, I don't want to wake up there and the kid just wakes up too. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I know, just that. Plus, I've just known a lot of experiences with people that have like single moms and stuff, and they tell me, oh yeah, my mom was having
Men over.
and it could either be traumatizing for them or just like not giving a fuck. And I personally don't want to know what category I would fall into. So I was just like, yeah, we can't do this. But I still kind of pressed on of like, oh, we can just go back to my hotel. I was sharing the room with my friends, but I was like, hey, y'all just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. But that didn't happen. She was really, she just really wanted to like do it at her place for some reason. I think she works at that hotel as well. So she was like not wanting to. But yeah. It's just no. And another instance is actually the same year. Later on that year, I had somebody I was getting in her 30s. She also had a kid. This time I met her at a club. And just a sidebar, I don't have that much luck in getting women.
Okay.
Like
because your dance moves are bad, or
that's probably it too. That's probably it too. But no, I just be vibing, but I think it's. I mean, we're going off topic here, but I don't know. In the clubs, it's just for me. I don't like the idea of picking girls up in the club, just because I feel like girls are just trying to have fun.
Okay.
And also, I just
so you don't want to be a creeper.
Yeah, I don't want to be a creeper. And also, I just don't know how to go about it. The music is loud and stuff, so I'll be like, "Hey, can I get your number?"
Yeah.
Like, all loud and stuff. Can I get your number? And they're like, what? I was like, your number.
Can I have it?
Can I have it?
Can I have your number?
Yeah, I just don't want to be a creeper.
Okay.
I just don't want to do that. But going back to the 30-something-year-old in
the club.
In the club. This one, I think I was just a drunken mistake because I did get her number. But she never replied to me because we were like making out in the club and everything. But after that day, I was
how
just
hard
like,
was your pee-pee in the club?
Very, very. I wasn't that drunk. I was just like kind of tipsy, but I think she was very drunk, and so because I just came up to her and she was already like kind of touchy with me. I just came up to her and I can already tell she was drunk. She was already touchy with me, like, "Hey, what's your name?" And she was already touching my collarbone and everything, and I was like, "Okay."
Is that a tell? A collarbone?
Not collarbone, but like just like she was just
touching
me,
you.
Right? Yeah,
up on the
touching
neck.
me up.
Yeah,
over
okay.
And so that was kind of like okay, and then we just started making out in the couches of the fucking club. One of the trashiest thing I've actually I feel like done, just because I don't. No offense to anybody that just picks girls up or pick guys up in the club. I just think it's kind of if y'all make up right there and then it's just kind of to me that's kind of trashy.
Okay.
It's just like, but I was fine with it just because. She was older, so I was just like,
might as well.
It might as well. They were older than me. It's fine. Let's do this. And so, yeah, just that happened. We were just making out. And then I didn't want to take a drunk girl home or just do anything like too sexual. Making out was going to be my line just because, I don't know, just somebody that's just drunk.
Taking advantage?
Yeah, I just don't want to take advantage of anybody. So that happened. But I got her number. And then the next day I texted her. I was like, oh, hey, this is Carlo from the club last night, I didn't mention that, oh, yeah, we were making out at all. But she was like, oh, yeah, how are you? And then I was like, oh, I'm good. And then she just never replied after that. Because I asked her like if you wanted to meet up sometime, but no, she did not answer after that.
She regretted it.
Probably.
You think she even knew how old you were?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Actually, no, probably not. No.
Like, did you even have a conversation before you just went at it?
A little bit, just a little bit. Actually, no, she did know because she was like, "Oh, you're such a baby," and then that's when she started touching me. So maybe she also had a thing for younger men, maybe. But as somebody that's like, likes older women, I've had a lot of older women that have also turned me down.
Mm-hmm.
Like very first one was like my freshman year of college. There was this girl in one of my speech class. She was just, I think she thought I was older because she was inviting me to her place. She was like, "Oh, we can watch Sex and the City and have wine."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm like, "Okay, bet." But I was like, "Oh, I can't. I'm 18. I'm not even 21 yet." And she was like, "Oh, you're such a baby." Those are the worst. When girls tell me, "Oh, you're just a baby," and then I try to circle back. I'm like, but we're still gonna go to your place and have wine, right? And
she said, "Absolutely not."
And she just stared at me like, no.
Damn.
And I was like, damn. She was, so freshman year, 18. She was 25 then, so, yeah.
What the fuck was she doing in a freshman communications class?
You know how it is. Some people just start late, boss lady. Or it's transfer late.
Okay.
She probably transfer late. Maybe she probably transfer late. I don't know. I mean, if she transferred, she probably shouldn't be taking that freshman class, right?
Yeah.
But she probably just started late.
Well, if she started late, then good for her. But seems like she was on the prowl to me.
She was until I said I was 18, probably. I probably shouldn't have done that. I still think about that to this day.
Yeah, that's your one regret?
Yeah, one regret. Not to this day. I'm sorry. Not to this day. I meant like before my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like when I used to reminisce about stuff like this. Used to.
Pre-relationship.
Pre-Estrella.
Yeah.
Hi, baby. Pre-Estrella. Pre-Estrella when I used to think about it. It's like, fuck. But like, I feel like guys are, in general, like, I don't know, like, do you know guys that have their regrets? Like, oh, I think this girl liked me, but I just didn't do anything.
I don't talk to men like that.
Wow. But, yeah, for me, I've definitely had some of those I think this girl's trying to flirt with me, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it at the time. So I'm not good at telling those, but this one was just it was just right there. It was in front of me. I should have just said, "Yeah, I'm 21. Let's do this," or just not mention my age at all.
Yeah, but then would it have really fulfilled your kink? Because
that is true.
That
is true.
You want them to know how old you are, and you want them to want you more because of it.
Yeah, I want them to. I don't know what the word is for it. Dominate me, but. Yeah, dominate me.
Teach you.
Okay. Teach me, dominate me, and kind of, take care of me. Just take care of me.
Yeah.
Take care of me.
Yes. Have you ever seen Breakfast at Tiffany's?
No. Well, yes, but I don't remember.
You should watch it again. Because the lady, financially... would you be down for, I mean, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Pre-Estrella and... No, I won't say. There will be no post-Estrella, but pre-Estrella...
No plan for post-Estrella.
No plan for post-Estrella, so that's on me. My bad. My apologies. Don't just ignore me, bitch. There you go. Okay.
I love you. That's true. That's why.
Anyway, I was saying this older woman, it was... I think a common practice, I gather it from a couple of different movies that I watched from that era, where if a woman was in she had a husband, right, and they were really well off, the man's obviously cheating numerous times because that's how it is, and then the woman also, it's called being kept. She keeps a man. So she
to keep that lifestyle.
She rents out his apartment, pays rent for him, and he's a struggling writer, so he doesn't have to pay anything. She gets him clothes and decorates his whole apartment. Would you be down for something like that?
Yes. I was down for something like that. I was.
Yeah. This is all this is all pre-Estrella.
Well, yeah, I joke around with my girlfriend right now, hey, I'm gonna learn how to cook. You can be my sugar mama, right? See, I joke. Just say joke. around about that. Like, I'm
You
not gonna push it
hint.
onto her.
Yeah.
I'm not
of
gonna
course.
push it
But
onto
if she
her.
wanted to assume that
Yeah, she
role,
wanted
who are
to.
you?
Who
Yeah.
am I to stop a girl's dream?
Exactly.
Right?
Women in
Who am I?
STEM.
Women in STEM. Let's say it. Let's not. I'm not trying to stop their dream.
But wouldn't you say, okay, so here's my experience. Once or twice, because I was really thinking about this because I hate boys, boys my age, or God forbid anybody younger. So I was thinking about how I would even talk about this on this podcast, but then I realized that it's not really about the age. It's more so about, as a woman, the pursuit of the man. If I see something and I want it, it's about how you plan it, how you stalk it, like a cougar. Like, that's how it got its name. How you seed the prey, plan out your attack on the prey, and then execute the attack. Personally, I've never done that, but yeah, I definitely understand the appeal. Would you say, like, is that like the dream? Would you ever even want to know that you were being preyed upon?
Nah, I would I just want to be blindsided.
You want to be?
I just want to be blindsided. I don't want to.
Church.
Like at the church, I didn't know anything was happening. I did not know.
Until you were in it.
Until I was in it. I didn't know she was preying on me.
What kind of, like, you're 16 in that, right? But like pre-16, obviously you're masturbating and you're watching porn, right?
MILF,
so what kind of porn are you watching?
That was mostly MILF.
Yeah, of course. So you were getting ready. You were gearing
teacher
up.
Stuff, really.
Yes,
stuff.
that's a whole nother aspect.
Teacher stuff,
Anything with authority.
Yeah, really.
Because age is also authority. So, yeah, you already were ready for it. When was the first time that you even like saw something like that appealed to you? Or was it like instant? When you discovered porn, you automatically knew what to search for?
No, I don't. I think it was mostly anime.
Okay.
So in anime, like, they just have a lot of like hot moms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've been watching anime since I was like a kid, like a young, like before I was 10 even.
Mm-hmm.
So just, I don't remember really like what anime really like piqued my interest like that as to like serve my kink like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know it was anime because there's just a lot of like, the anime community when it comes to this shit is just crazy with like MILF stuff, like teacher stuff and all that, like Cougar stuff especially. There's just a lot. So I just remember when I forgot what the I think I can't remember the anime, but an anime I can't remember. A hentai I remember. I forgot what it was called, but it was just this guy and their school nurse and the teacher and him had a threesome. That was one of the first hentai I watched, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like maybe 11 or 12. Mm-hmm. I was like really young. So I guess that really shaped my mind. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I like this.
There was this study once, it's kind of related. It's mostly related. It was like the reason that people have such specific and like out there fetishes and kinks is because we have such easy access to porn, and it's so easy for porn to be more specialized that it then influences our kinks and fetishes. So like you might never ever think of, I don't know, feet, let's say, which is a really common one. But since there's so many feet things on, like, let's say the first foot thing that came on to Pornhub, it may be auto-played on somebody's whatever, on multiple people's whatever. I don't think there is autoplay, but it was suggested on Pornhub. So then they clicked on it, and they just so happened, because of the timing and the amount of time that they were on Pornhub, to bust a nut during that video. But then that video and feet becomes their kink. So it's crazy that not only is porn influenced by the demand, but then also now porn is completely influencing how we have sex. Like, our generation is going to have the weirdest sex lives because we grew up with such easily accessible porn.
It's just literally in our hands.
Yeah.
In our hands, literally. Like, because when I was a kid, my there was this room in our house that was never used, and so it was just more of a storage to things. So like my clothes, my dad's clothes, and just CDs, right? Like innocent CDs, like there was Disney CDs in there, just like animated shows. But on a hidden thing, there was a CD of like just porn.
You had a porn DVD
Yeah.
in your home?
Yeah.
Was it your dad's?
Yes. Probably.
And you watched it?
When he wasn't there, yeah. Because we had a DVD player like in like the laptop DVD player.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like very curious. I was like, oh shit. And so
yours, that's different. I've never once encountered DVD porn.
Never?
No.
I've encountered a lot of like just porn magazines and stuff. But
Never
just
seen it. I mean, I've seen it in like sex stores, but I've never like.
well, because I grew up in the house that my dad grew up in as well.
Okay.
So I guess all his stuff was just there.
Okay.
My closet in my room was because that was my dad's room.
Okay.
So when you open my closet, it was just porn magazines in the bottom. He tried to hide it from me, but it shit is my closet. So
yeah.
I'm gonna be curious what those magazines are. And I looked and it was fucking naked women.
Ladies.
Naked women, yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, just we have so much easy access to it, just the phone, right? And when my dad was young, he probably just had the DVD. Mm-hmm. And he had to hide that.
So you think your dad has a cougar kink?
I don't remember what the
DVD was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think my dad did. I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. But yeah, those DVDs were just. I think about it, right? It's like even the laptop is small-ish, but they probably just played that shit on the TV, like a lot, like. Oh yeah, in the 70s or the 80s or 90s,
they had
like
porn
the movie
theaters. Yes.
Yeah, were they really?
They were really doing it.
They were really jerking off in there.
Yes.
What?
And they had that thing, and there was like this whole stigma about like theater in general, like when you would go to see live theater. And the lights would be dimmed, and then people like Christians or Catholics, or it was in America, so probably just those two groups, were like, that's unholy because you don't know what they're doing in the stands. But like nobody was doing that. But then because people thought they were doing that, and they started to do that, like burlesque shows and whatever. Yeah. So then, yeah, in the 70s and whatever, they had like porn theaters. That is absolutely amazing to me to think that like people, I mean, I don't know if it's women.
I'm pretty sure. Because like, I would say maybe it's women, just because at that time as well, like the people doing like sex work, like they were porn stars, right? Like they were stars.
They were being broadcast on the motherfucking screen.
Like even in the early 2000s, like porn stars were still like appearing on like mainstream like TV shows and stuff and like movies. So they were like really well known. But now again, accessibility, not accessibility both ways of watching porn and doing porn. Yeah. Right? It's so easy. Like you could just make a Pornhub account, record yourself, and just upload it.
And that's that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just both ways of accessibility, right? It's like so easy. That's another topic you can go into too.
Yeah, I don't even know what we were originally talking about.
Cougars.
Again. Yes. Well, that's yes.
But
did you know this is a good one.
Oh, you're talking about a study of the
porn and the influencing of I finished that thought.
Yeah.
But this episode is my most sought after episode. I ask people, this is how, for you that are listening and have never been approached by me to come on the podcast, I go up to you. I like your vibe. So then I ask you, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? And then they say, what's your podcast about? And then I say, it's about kinks. And then they have their reaction. They usually giggle because they get uncomfortable. And then they eventually come around and then I show them the list. And then I say, which one of these kinks do you have? And then most of the men will say, I want to do, I don't know what number it is on the list because the list is numbered. But they'll say that one, Cougar. And then I always say, that one's already taken.
By me.
So why do you think, if you have any ideas, so many men have this same kink?
We're going deep into it. Like, I think the expectations for men, right, are to be the dominant ones. I think it's just about expectations and men are supposed to be dominant. But I don't think that's just the case. I think men also want to be dominated. So they have this fantasy of the cougar. Right? And you know the old adage, if we want something we can't have, it's very hard to, like, you don't even like younger men, right? Yeah. That's a lot of women. A lot of women don't even like younger men. Yeah. And I think that's also why they have that fantasies, because it's so hard to attain of sleeping with the older woman. I see. But most men have sex with an older, that's how most men lose their virginity, is with an older woman. And men that are underage, just like you, are most likely to be sexually assaulted
by the book. Raped.
Yeah.
Statutory rape.
Yeah. By the definition of yeah.
Yeah. Because most women, I think, lose their virginity at somewhere around 17. And most men is like 14. I did the math like a long time ago. But yeah, I think it's like 14. So most of these young boys are having sex with women that are women. Do you have anything to say about that? Like, do you feel like you were taken advantage of when you were 16?
If I was somebody outside looking in, then I would say yes. But
Okay.
obviously, me being a horny teenager at the time, I would say no.
Do you think it has any lasting negative effects?
I don't think so. Just because I don't find it I don't find it as a traumatizing event. I mean, I don't find it a glorifying one, right? I don't glorify it or anything, but I think it is something that affects. I think it did have an effect. Just because you said, right, most men lose their virginity to somebody older.
Yeah.
Then maybe that's why they want a cougar, just to relive that moment of
The first time that they
yeah,
had
the
sex.
first time they had sex.
But I think a lot of men have like lasting guilt or like shame around it. That's quite sad if we're thinking about it.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that most men really lose their virginity to somebody like who's older or anything. So
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. But I mean, for me, I don't find it traumatizing. But I'm sure a lot of men find it traumatizing, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a psychology major. I didn't even take that many psychology classes. But there's a fucked up correlation between what their people's traumas and what they're into.
Yeah.
That's a fucked up correlation. So that's probably a reason for it too.
We're going to talk about that on the podcast about CNC. So tune into
I want to see that. I need
non-consensual.
to. Have you found somebody for that?
Yeah,
You have? Oh, I need to see that.
but she's a flake. So we'll see if we ever get her on here.
I need to see that episode.
Sorry,
I'm very...
Kelsey, if you're listening to this. Yeah, because I was talking to my little brother, and I can't remember if he said he did lose his virginity to an older woman or what, but like he was talking about, he's a young boy, so he's still trying to figure out where he fits in this current age of like this popular trend of men hate that's happening, where like men have to feel guilty about just being men. That's how they feel, at least. And so he was working his way through that, I could tell. But like I wanted to acknowledge to him that women are also at fault, because obviously these women that are 18 or older are pursuing men that are under 18, and they don't think it's wrong because society doesn't tell them that it's wrong, because the only thing society wants to talk about is like the 60-year-old man that like texts the 12-year-old girl and whatever. But well, where did I start with that? Oh no. Where did I start with that?
Your brother.
My brother?
Yeah, because men, like how...
There's just a whole conversation that needs to be had about how young men are so much more of a victim of the patriarchy than women are. I would argue.
You could argue that, yeah, just because they are coming into an age where they're hated, but they don't know why they're really hated.
But also then by other men, older men that have already like past this point of adolescence, are now pushing them to then become that. Like there's just so much pressure on a young boy to become a man and to assume his power and yada yada. And then there's also pressure from some women that are like, you should have the power. I want to be dominated. I want a daddy, whatever. But we're all propelling the future and securing the future of the patriarchy by doing that. That's a big one. That's a big conversation. That's a tough pill to swallow right there.
But I don't know, just like for me, because I grew up in the Philippines, so like I didn't really pay mind to like patriarchy or all that. But I'm not saying that the Philippines isn't like a sexist country or anything. But because we've had when I was growing up, our president was a woman, so I didn't have those preconceived notions of like women can't do this or that. Plus, I've also came in a household where I came in a single parent household with my dad, and he was like doing all the cooking, cleaning, and all that. Even though um my grandparents, my grandma, my grandpa, my grandma is the breadwinner, and my grandpa cooks and cleans the house, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I grew up like not really, um, not paying attention, but not even knowing about like patriarchal system like that.
Yeah, like the stereotypes, gender stereotypes.
Yeah, like gender stereotypes, or even like a patriarchal like system, because like a lot of people are gonna be exposed to a patriarchy just because their dads are probably gonna be doing most of the like decisions,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I just wasn't exposed to that, so that pressure of being a man and all that, I never really felt it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe sometimes, b- like in the stupidest way, right? Just because right now, another aspect of men trying to be men is how much girls they can get,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I remember just in high school when I was like 14, I was a virgin. All my friends were saying, "Oh, I'm not a virgin," and they were all just making fun of me, like, "Oh, he hasn't had sex yet,"
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So that was one of those instances where I'm like, okay, as a man, I'm feeling the pressure from other men to be more manly.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like that is one. That is one of them.
Even
But
in the Philippines, or that's here?
that's here. That was here. That was when I came here already, and everybody was just because in the Philippines, like I've had friends that lost their virginity, but it wasn't. I didn't feel pressure to.
Okay.
That maybe just my experience. But here, when I came here, yeah, that's when it was. Because just in a school setting, I've seen like the men here like make out with their girlfriends in middle school, like outside the fucking hallways. In the Philippines, that was not happening.
Okay.
That was not happening. Plus, I went to a Catholic school too, so like it was just not happening. That was very much so a culture shock here.
So do you think your non-conventional upbringing in American terms, which is not the right terms, but that's
I mean, that's just how it
that's
is,
what
right?
I know, and
I mean, that's just
whatever.
how it is as well, really.
Yeah. Do you think your non-conventional upbringing lended itself to you having a more submissive kink?
Mm.
Do you think it might be your subconscious way of rebelling against American culture, which is patriarchy?
Maybe American culture are just like, um, the opposite of a matriarchy is kind of what is instilled in me. Just because the head of our family is kind of my grandma,
Okay.
right? And even like when it comes to making money, which is like the breadwinner,
Mm-hmm.
it's still gonna be my mom as well because my mom makes more money.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of just the um norms, like gender norms of what society has, right? I was always exposed to the opposite of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's why as well of like I want the woman to provide for me type
Mm-hmm.
of way, right? So yeah, I guess so.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, that's interesting to think that so many men have this kink because they probably just are crumbling under the pressure of needing to not have this kink.
For this kink, I think there's just a lot of reasons as well. As like one, again, I told the unattainable
Yeah.
of like women don't really like younger men,
Mm-hmm.
and another reason, like, I mean, it's a big one, I guess, is some people have mommy issues as well.
Yeah.
Like they
Lots
just
of
want to be
boys.
babied and stuff, right? I don't think I have that, just because I that thing I don't think I have, but I wouldn't know if I
Yeah.
like I wouldn't know how to
Assess it.
yeah, to assess that. I don't know. I wouldn't know if I had that
Just
or not.
don't even go down that road. That's just a lot of
Yeah,
self-reflection that you just don't need in your life. It's like a lot of work.
there's a lot of work.
Who cares? And you're not even in a relationship with an older woman, so it doesn't even matter. Right?
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's good. We got through it. That's like we went real theoretical with this one. I like it. Um, do you fantasize about Estrella being older than you in your head? And don't let the fact that she's in this
Not
room
older, just more
influence.
like we've talked about this. Just authority wise,
Mhm.
I want us to have that teacher
Mhm.
student thing. But the thing is, she also has a teacher student thing.
But she wants to be the
She
student.
wants to be the student. I don't want to. I don't want to be the teacher. I want to be the student in this scenario.
Well, why don't you guys just try it one day,
One day
and one day?
one day me, one day her.
Yeah.
We should. Huh?
You can speak out loud.
I'm talking about the teacher kink. Yeah, but I've been dominant with you a bit. Okay, I've been dominant with you a bit.
Listen, I don't mean to speak out of turn, but all I'm trying to say is you need to dress up in a suit and a tie and give a lecture and then have sex. And you need to dress up in a skirt and a button down and give a lecture and then have sex.
I agree with that. I'll dress up in a suit.
It needs to be a mutual deal. Obviously, you both want it, so you both need to fulfill it, okay? Let's just make a deal. Will you agree to the terms, Estrella? There they are, right. Shaking hands. Okay.
We agreed on it. We agreed
Solving relationship, it wasn't even an issue, but just helping relationships thrive on this podcast every day.
But just on my point of women don't really like younger men, why don't, like, from your point of view, and maybe if you've gotten other women's point of view, why do you think that's the case of, like, the women just don't want younger men?
Well, it is interesting that no woman has ever asked to sign up for that kink on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
And I've asked a lot more. I talk to more women than I do men. So I haven't found a woman with this kink yet, or at least that she's willing to admit. But for me, just like how you said anime might have influenced your wanting to be with an older woman, I watched a lot of movies about, like, young girls getting paid to have sex with an older man. Like, there's a big power dynamic. But I've always wanted to be with an older man. And when I said older, like, when I was thinking about it when I was like 12, it wasn't like, it's not linear or mathematical. So it's not just like plus 10 years. So I didn't want to have sex with like a 22-year-old. I wanted to have sex with like a 30-year-old.
Oh, right.
And now that I'm like 23, the thought of having sex with a 30-year-old even is like still, now it's gross. Because now it's like, I know what it takes to be 30 years old, and you still don't have your shit together, so I still don't want to be with you. I think it's that also. Like, women are, I want to be intellectually challenged by the man that I am with. Mm. And I personally, even though I know it's wrong, I haven't met a man that's my age, a boy that's my age, that challenges me intellectually. Like, you're just so easy to read. Not you, but like the men. It's easy to read, it's boring, and you're constantly either lying or trying to prove that you are good at sex, like, oh, I can make you come, la da da da. But it's like, shut up. It's just extremely, I don't mean this in a rude way. All I can speak to is my emotion, and the emotion that I feel is not dislike, it's disgust.
Oh, strong.
It is a strong, and I can't help it. That's just the feeling that I get when I think about having sex with a guy that's my age. But, interestingly enough, the best sex that I've ever had was with a guy that was my age. But he wasn't like other men.
He had his shit together?
Like, no, he didn't have his shit together, but he wasn't trying to prove, like, he wasn't like, I can make you come. He didn't even try or, like, put the idea out there that he would, like, try to eat me out or, like, try to do special positions so that it would feel better for me. He was solely selfish, but I didn't mind that because at least he wasn't like trying. You can't just stop, you know? So, but also he introduced me to like biting and I didn't like choking, but he introduced me to like physical pain. And so I think that was why.
He introduced you to something new?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That I liked.
I think the opposite could also be said for some men. I think of they also just don't want somebody their own age. Mm-hmm. Of like we talked about the more deeper issues of like why men want older women, but maybe for some men, I don't think it's that deep. They just don't want somebody their age. Maybe for same reasons as you. Because for me, like I know a couple guys who kind of. I don't think they even have the right to be saying this because I don't think they're that much smarter than the people that they're talking shit to. But some of them are talking shit to other women like, oh, girls my age are just doing this, doing that. Or like, you know, they're calling women their own age dumb. So they're like, oh, I want somebody older than me.
I see.
women my age are dumb and they're just sluts, right?
I have heard that as well.
Yeah.
It's maddening. But I have also met girls that are like that, where it's like, can you act? Why are you? It's like, I don't want to say something controversial, but it's like sometimes when I see a girl and she's like constantly Snapchatting people or like posing for pictures and doing the duck lips, or like she's my age and she has a lip injections or whatever, it's like you're embarrassing my whole gender by doing that. You're embarrassing.
You're the weakest link.
You're like proving everybody right. It's like I'm half black, and when I see like, like if I saw a black man steal something from a store, it's like you're just proving everybody right. Like you're setting us back on the stereotypes, which is controversial, but it's true. It's like a feeling of, come on, man.
Oh.
Same with the ladies. It's like, come on, girl.
I can't say that as an Asian. I can't tell other Asians, hey, stop being so good at math. You're doing the stereotype.
That's true. I do want to do a whole episode. Maybe I'll have you on if the reviews for this are positive and they like your voice and whatever. I wanted to do an episode about fetishes. Mm-hmm. Specifically, like, I want to have sex, like...
Race fetishes as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
Of like a lot of girls want to have sex with like black men. And so I want to talk about those, and a lot of guys like Asian women, but they don't understand that it's like
problematic.
Racist.
It is problematic.
Not that they are racist. It's that the root of that fetish is racist.
It's problematic. Of just a little history of that is just men have literally gone to Asia just to find themselves a wife. Yeah. Because they want that docile, that stereotype. They wanted that stereotype. Yeah. I can kind of go into that history a little bit, but we're not somewhere about... We're going
to save it for the podcast.
Yeah, we can save that for if my reviews are good, which I don't know if they are, because I don't really have that much experience with like cougars per se of like 30s. But going back to that is I've only... for the women I've had sex with, most of them were like older-ish. It was just like a year or two, and some of it wasn't. I mean, yeah, it was mostly intentional, just because it's, even if it's a year, I feel like there's still that pressure of being older and like just the perception of being a man of I have to, lack of a better term I can think of right now, provide is just not there. Mm-hmm. Right, that pressure is off. I see. Right. Like, I don't gotta be again, of being the dominant one as well. Again, I don't mind that, but I don't want the pressure of me having
constantly to be dominant. Being dominant. Yeah.
So I guess that's why as well for me, right? Like, I don't want to always be dominant, and I don't always want that pressure of having to teach you. Yeah. Yeah.
It's play. Yeah. Sex has play. Yeah. I advocate for sex as play. It should be like relaxing.
It should be.
Yeah.
Because just the first time I did have sex with somebody younger than me, like, it wasn't bad. Not younger than me, but like, I've never actually had sex with anybody like a year younger than me or anything. They were just mostly like the same age as me, of like still born the same year, but just a couple months like younger than me. But like having sex with people like my age, like really my age, it wasn't terrible or anything at all. It wasn't terrible, but I just had that preference of the other woman, just the woman just teaching me stuff as well. But I just wanted to learn too. I really did.
What'd you learn?
From this one woman, I learned my first time I learned where I could just say it, I guess, the clitoris is. I can.
You were scared to say the word.
I don't know why, but I was like, I don't know why I was being scared to say it.
Okay.
And then another woman just teach me how. Well, the first time, let's just go with the first time first. She kind of taught me how to, because when she was caressing my hair, what she did was she also like pulled it to her.
Oh, to herself.
Yes, herself.
Her vagina.
To her vagina. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I'm fucking.
I don't know either. I also did that.
To her vagina, right? And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? What is this? So I was just like,
laughing at it like
I was just like, yeah, literally. I was just doing. It was like you know how a dog eats from like their.
I don't want. Let's stop using.
Sorry,
dog.
sorry,
That's
sorry.
furry,
Yeah,
and we're not doing that today.
but I'm just talking about that's how the tongue motion is.
Okay. Yeah.
I was just very. She was like, no, 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 no. I was like, huh, what do you want from me? I don't know what I'm doing. So she was just like, okay, start just for now since you're new, just focus on this point, and the point being the
clitoris.
yeah. And she was like, and as I was going, it was getting harder, and I'm like, what the fuck? Not harder, but like it was just
Making itself
yeah,
known.
showing more, showing. It
yeah.
was showing more, and I'm like, what the hell? Because I could
think
feel
it
it more.
actually it gets like it engorges. Is that the word? Yes. Thank you. Women in STEM.
So
it engorges.
Yeah. So I guess she just taught me like, oh, okay, I'm gonna find that sensitive and just the anatomy of it. I didn't even know that was there. In my mind at that time was just, oh, there's a hole there, put it in.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was just it. Yeah. And then I guess having sex with just multiple partners is just it wasn't the biggest takeaways weren't really with the one-on-one. It was just more of a collective of just they want different things. Like okay, so it's just some women they want more pressure.
Okay.
On the clitoris when you're like, going down there and stuff. Some women don't.
Yeah.
And I guess the biggest one was this one woman, like when I was 18 and the 24-year-old, she taught me where the G spot is. And it wasn't that hard to find. It was just going up there, really. And just that, and because she liked it she wanted me to like repeatedly doing it like kind of hard. And then I tried doing that with the next partner and she did not like it. Yeah. So my biggest takeaway to all this was just literally women just want different things. There's no one way of making a woman like come. Yeah. Oh my god. There's no one way of making a woman come. Yeah. Oh my god. I don't know. I'm sugarcoating it. I really don't.
So you learned how to listen.
Oh, I guess that it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. Wow. Okay. That's what it is. I learned how to listen of like the reactions and stuff. If they like that or not. Because this woman also told me, oh, you can just ask, right? But I find that sometimes asking kind of takes away from the moment.
Yeah.
So it's like I just
explore and listen for when the moans get louder.
Yeah, exactly.
Or more genuine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh god, like I hope I never find out, but some of them have like moaned like loudly, but every time in the back of my head, I didn't ask them like, "Is that genuine? Is that genuine?" Because it's like, one, it's just weird, and two, it's not really an ego thing. I don't care if they were faking it, because it's like, I mean, if you were moaning loudly, that's when I was doing that one thing the most, and if you didn't enjoy it, that was all your fault then. Yeah, because you moaned that loud for that one thing. Yeah. So I guess my biggest takeaway was just a collective.
I'm a master at faking it, and I will tell you that I won't really moan louder if somebody's doing something that hurts.
Oh, that hurts.
So I would take it as you're right, and that when you moan louder, it must be genuine. Unless she's faking her orgasm. But actually, ladies, a key point, just as an aside, the louder does not mean that you are orgasming. You have to really pay attention to yourself, and it actually is better if you, and more, it seems more genuine if you are quieter when you are orgasming and more breathy. The key is the breath.
Oh, that is very true.
The key is the breath and the Kegel. If you can master the breath and the Kegel, your fake orgasm will be believable. I have only mastered it 1,000 times. Kegel. Squeeze it. Squeeze.
Oh.
You know how when you feel a girl, and it seems like she's contracting? Well, you can fake it, ladies. You can. You just have to master your Kegel. I have done it. And then the guy's like, wow, I could feel it. I could feel you. And I'm like, yeah, oh my God, I've never done that before.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you. I've never done that.
That's not for you. That's for the ladies that are listening to this
No. I know. No. I meant like, I was reenacting you. Like, oh, thank you. Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
I don't know how the men can fake it.
I mean, something comes out, so I don't know how men fake it. Really, I don't know how. Huh?
You fake it? You've had a guy fake it? Oh, yeah. There ain't nothing in here.
No, I don't care. But I've not with my current partner, but I've also like,
You faked an orgasm?
yeah,
Faked
but
a nut?
like, this one girl was like, just in a night, it was 5 times.
Oh, so she
I
didn't.
didn't want to do it anymore.
Please, no more.
I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it.
Why don't you just fake go to sleep? That's what I do. Ain't that right, Jordan?
I wanted to
To
leave.
clarify for the listeners, we're talking about a threesome. The man kept persisting. It's not me and Jordan. Because they might have thought that I was faking it with you. Anyway. Well, we need to wrap this shit up. So, how I wrap it up is every episode you end with a rate. So you are to rate your experience
with
a cougar out of 10. 10 being the best.
All right. I'm gonna just define it as maybe a 5+ year difference with me.
Okay.
Just the cougars. I'd say like 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
For the most coveted podcast episode, you're gonna rate it a 7.5?
For some of them, it was just some of them were talking too much.
Oh, because they're old and they're lonely. That's why they have the younger man.
They were just not talking to me too much, but like during they were just talking too much of
Dirty talk? Or like, put it there.
yes.
Oh my god, I would hate that.
For the first time, but the second time, like because with some of these women I've like had it for the second time of like no talking, it was like a 9.
Okay. So we're gonna go with the 9.
With the 9, but with the first time when they were just I know it's weird because I said the teaching part is like but sometimes the teaching part is annoying. Not annoying, but like
yeah, overbearing.
It was a little overbearing.
Detracting from the mood.
Yeah, very much so. But the second time though teaching, it was a 9.
Okay.
It was a 9.
And my rate for a cougar, which is just simply the stalking and attacking of the prey, which I've never actually executed but have thought about, I would say is like I don't know, because I've never followed through with it. But I don't know. I don't want to lie. I don't want to give it, I don't know what it would be because I've never followed through with it, but I don't know. I give it like a 6. I give it like a 4.
A 4? Oh, that's a big drop off.
At the end of the day, you're still like having sex with a younger man. It's just not. It's not for me. It's not for me.
But
it's not.
I think you should have a part 2 with it, just because I think maybe those other men have actually genuinely had like older women consistently, like 10+ years. Because one of the people that did ask you about this when he was 19, I believe he was dating a 30-year-old. So like genuinely dating somebody like older like that.
We'll see if he wants to come on.
Maybe, hopefully.
At Demetrius.
But my best sexual experience is still with my girlfriend who is younger than me.
Yeah, put a little disclaimer out there.
That is a disclaimer. My best sex is with my current girlfriend right now who is younger than me.
Yeah. All right, rate for being on this podcast. 10. Don't lie.
10.
Okay.
I just love talking to boss lady. Or the Tali.
Either one. Any of it. All of it. Then that's it. We gotta end it. I forget how we end it. So I guess we'll just say bye. So say bye.
Bye.
And I'll say bye.